Welcome back. It is the New Year's Eve stream of the Bruins Benders Podcast post-game live. You've guessed it, Maddie's not here, but don't worry, producer Connor is here, and he's got you covered. And guess who's back? Smitty's here.
Smitty's back again.
Welcome back, Smitty. How was vacation?
Vacation was good. Family's doing well. Everybody had a good Christmas. It was warm most of the time. One port we couldn't get into in the Dominican Republic because it was too rocky to dock the boat. So couldn't do that. But other than that, yeah, good overall. Got a little sun. Had lots and lots and lots of drinks and lots of sips.
Doctor ordered.
Yeah. So yeah, good time overall. Good time had by all. And then my mom caught COVID, so she has COVID now. So that's cool.
In typical fashion of the bummer on returning home from a vacation, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, best of wishes to your mom in kicking the COVID. Hopefully she fares a little bit better than the Bruins did today.
Yeah.
As they dropped the 3-1 stinker, the matinee down in Washington, 3-1 to the Capitals. And coming into the game here, one of the most glaring things before talking about the play is that arena was kind of silent. It was an absolute stinker of a game.
Yeah, it was kind of like church today. It was everybody was quiet, and I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I guess it was the early start, but like New Year's Eve, you should be starting to crank it up, firing it up. I'm cranking it up. I got a sip going already. I got the Lops Brewing Benders Bar Down IPA working. Absolutely. So I mean, you should be starting to get lathered up here already. But you know, there really wasn't much to get excited about in this game. The Bruins started well. Like the first 8 to 10 minutes were pretty good by them. Got the goal on a fortunate bounce early, and then after that, there wasn't much there. There really wasn't. The second half of the first, you know, the Caps kind of took over, got a couple of goals there. Brandon Carlo fucking fast asleep on the first goal, and then you know, Kastelik takes kind of a weakish penalty. It didn't really look like there was much there to me, but still a penalty, and then the Bruins can't kill it off. Zadorov was missing for a large portion of the first and wasn't out there to kill it, so McAvoy was on his offside, and Chicken was able to walk in, you know, down to the tops of the dots, and you know, had a snipe. Like, it was a really good shot. And you know, that was it. The second period, like, I feel like both teams just like they dropped the puck, and both teams were like, all right, this can end anytime. And there, like, nothing happened in the second period. You could erase that period from the entire season and you'd be completely fine. Like, nothing happened. There was no hitting. There was no offense. There was no, like, it was like all in the neutral zone. There wasn't many shots. There wasn't any really scoring chances. It was just ridiculous. There was nothing there. And then the third, you know, the Bruins had some good shifts, but it comes back to can they finish it all? You know, Brad Marchand sets up Morgan Geekie for a tap in at the side of the net that he heals and can't score. Then Zacha has a chance right in front that he pushes wide. Like, Pastrnak had a couple of shots late, you know, but they, you know, just not enough to tie it up. And then the Caps get an empty net goal late, and you know, that'll do it.
Yeah, and you know, it kind of felt like this game was how most other people feel right now. That week between the Christmas days off from work and the New Year's days off from work just absolutely sucks, and you don't want to do anything. And
yeah,
that was the epitome of that game right there.
Absolutely. I was at work today and I was watching the game on my phone. So counting the minutes until I could leave. So, I mean,
allegedly.
Allegedly. That's what happened. And then at 2:00, I was like, when can we get out of here? Can we leave now? You know, and they were like, yeah, you can take off if you want. So, I mean, I was like, yeah, I mean, I was like the road runner, like cloud of dust and I'm gone. So, yeah, I mean, just not very much happened in the game today. Certainly not offensively for Boston. They did have some good looks in the first and then some good looks late in the third there, but they couldn't capitalize on any of it. And that's when they lose games, that's usually part of the problem. they have some chances, but they don't have enough offensive talent to to score the goals when they need to.
Yeah, and that's been something that, we've been talking about quite a while on the show, is the lack of offense. But one of the things today that was the glaring issue in the first period was Brandon Carlo, or lack thereof, and his fumble. We've been talking a lot about Carlo and his mistakes and kind of being out on an island. We've also talked about Brandon Carlo being a potential trade chip. So my question to you is, would the Bruins be better served with or without Brandon Carlo?
To me, it depends on the return. I would have earlier in the season been opposed to moving him. I'm not opposed to it now. But I feel like they're still a little thin on right D, so that's a concern to me. But he hasn't really lived up to what you expect from him this season. Hasn't been great really all year. And he doesn't provide enough offensively to offset the fact that he's not playing well defensively. He's still pretty good on the penalty kill because he has a long reach and he can get sticks and passing lanes and shooting lanes, and he'll block shots and all that. But he hasn't really been the shutdown guy that you would hope him to be, going up against some of the better offensive talent around the league. And then offensively, he's lost. Like, there's opportunities for him to pinch where he just doesn't, or he'll, the puck's a grenade. It's just, he's looking to get rid of it. He's not looking to make a play. He's trying to do whatever he can to get it off his stick so he doesn't produce a turnover, it seems like. So, a long way to answer, but I would say they're probably better with him right now just because of how thin they are on the right D. But if you got a good return for him, I would certainly entertain moving him.
He played the second least time on ice for defensemen tonight, behind Nikita Zadorov. Zadorov was a 13:38 time on ice, which is glaring for a defenseman to have that low time on ice, followed by Brandon Carlo at 16:42.
Zadorov was hurt for a large part of the first, so he was out there for the first shift, didn't come back until late in the first, so he probably missed about 15 or 16 minutes worth of actual game time. So I feel like he probably would have been, up near 19 or 20 minutes if he had not missed some of those shifts in the first. So the fact that Carlo was only at 16, I mean, he's usually, when he's going well, up 20, 21. So they see it too. It's not just us. And he needs to straighten that out. He's just been a little off kind of all year and hasn't really found it or been able to find it. And that's a little bit alarming, because usually when he's in the lineup and getting reps like day after day, the games are close together and not spaced out, he usually gets into a rhythm and plays pretty well. But he just hasn't found that rhythm really at all this year.
Yeah, and speaking of not being able to find some rhythm and looking through the box score for some more duds here, got Mark Kastelik with 8:44 time on ice, Johnny Beecher 9:44 time on ice, and Mark McLaughlin 8:31 time on ice. Now, the last game, while you were still on vacation, Fabian Lysell was in here. Maddie wrote a piece this morning about Fabian Lysell and the Bruins' treatment of him. You look at these time on ice for those three players on the fourth line and their production or lack thereof. What gives?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the fourth line, you don't expect them to play much more than, 10, 11 minutes. I thought McLaughlin had energy and wheels when he was out there. Kastelik, a couple of dumb penalties, and he's had some chances around the net that he hasn't been able to finish, but that's why he's a fourth line guy. I mean, you traded for a fourth line guy. You didn't trade for a second line guy, even though it was Linus Ullmark going the other way in the trade. And Koepke's been up and down. He's had his moments. Most of them were early in the season. And Beecher, I mean, he is what he is. He's fast and not much else. He doesn't really help the team in any way at all, offensively or defensively, except for maybe winning faceoffs. He's fast and he can occasionally win faceoffs. That's all you get from him. Nothing else. And his numbers when he's on the ice are not good. The expected goals for the other team is much better than the expected goals for the Bruins when he's on the ice. So he's not really doing much to help you win hockey games. So the fact that he keeps getting chances in the lineup, and a guy like Fabian Lysell, who may or may not have should have gotten an assist in that game, doesn't get a chance. I just don't get it. Why do they keep running out the same guys? Why do they take a Lysell out of the lineup tonight because they're playing Washington because they're heavy? I mean, how is anybody going to learn to play in the NHL if you're not going to play against any teams that are heavy? Like, I don't understand that at all. Like, when the playoffs come, do you think people are going to just stop hitting? It's going to be worse.
There's a fine line between protecting and hindering.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's his concussion history. And if that's the case, I can live with it, I suppose. If they're kind of picking his spots to get his feet wet at the NHL level. But the fact that he plays one game and then goes back down is dumb to me. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand the Bruins organizational player development path for young players. I just don't. And I'm not sure they have one. It just seems like it's like, oh, this guy's playing decent. Let's bring him up. Oh, this guy's doing pretty well. Let's bring him up. We're not going to play any of our top prospects together because, God forbid, they develop some fucking chemistry together in Providence. Sorry, John, but it's like, what are they doing? I don't think they have a plan. Just like I don't think they have an identity. Hard to play against is not an identity. We've talked about this before.
Yep.
What does that actually mean to you? What does that mean to the team? Is it a forecheck? Is it a trap? Like, what does that mean? Second and third effort? Everybody fucking does that. So, like, that's not an identity. That's not a team identity. Hard to play against. Sorry, it isn't.
And
so
speaking of hard to play against, our favorite hard to play against public skate person here, Trent Frederick, 0 goals, 0 points, 0 assists, 0 PIMs, 0 power play goals, 0 giveaways, 0 takeaways, 33% in the face-off dot, 1 shot, 1536 on ice.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's gone 9 games without a point. He's gone 8 games without a penalty minute. And he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. No, 6 shots over that time.
Nearly invisible
For
a third line player.
I mean, I don't understand the infatuation. I don't get it. Especially now. He's in a contract year. He should be playing his ass off. And it's the opposite. It's the opposite. And he's going to go. Maybe he's like Jim Montgomery. Maybe he knows he can go to St. Louis next year and they're going to give him 7 times 5 or 7 times 4 or some ridiculous bullshit fucking contract. Good luck to you, buddy. Enjoy it. Enjoy the Lou. Tell Nelly I said hello. All right. But I mean, Jesus Christ. He's been nothing, like a black hole of nothing. When the puck dies on his stick, it dies, just like Beecher. When they have it, you can pretty much say, oh, the play's over now. Like, nothing good is happening when either of those guys have the puck. Nothing.
It's tough. It's real tough. Especially when you have people like Justin Brazeau who sit in front of the net and continue to produce over and over again to Maddie's absolute burning urges.
Yeah. Why can't Trent Frederick do that? Why can't he do that? Why can't he just go and stand in front of the net, take the pounding, and tip pucks in? Why can't he do that?
Is something wrong? is the question. Like, is he hurt? Like, did his cat die? Like,
He hurt?
what is happening that you suck this bad this year?
Maybe one of his arms is hurt because he always plays fucking one-handed. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe one of his arms, maybe he has like a stinger, or like somebody hit his funny bone and his arm just doesn't work anymore. He's only got one functioning arm right now. Could be why. Could be why.
I don't know, but I would be really depressed if I was Trent Frederick and knowing that I'm in a contract year where I could have made a lot of money and I am sucking and blowing all at once.
Tell you what, though, with his one functioning arm, the other arm that's asleep, when he jerks himself off, it feels like it's somebody else.
Oh, what a bonus. What a fucking bonus. And what a better way to probably transition to some of the fan comments. T-Boz hopping in sort of early, but technically late. We weren't sure if we were actually going to have the stream today.
Yeah.
So we had to set it up a little late. He pops in with the sip today. It is a Corona Light with lime. Reason for the choice is the smoked mojo pork that just came off the smoker.
Well, that sounds amazing.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
He's got a 20-pound brisket to slap on there for the New Year's tradition.
That sounds amazing. Everybody should go to T-Boz's house, I think.
I think this is his way of telling us that he's trying to throw us a New Year's party or something.
I think he's going to throw us a party maybe in February when we head down to Florida.
Well,
I think that's.
You guys might need to carry some extra baggage to Florida because T-Boz is right. 6 goals to go until Maddie's Sorry John t-shirt bet rolls.
Yep.
He's gonna get the hand delivery from Maddie himself.
Oh, he is going to get it. Yeah. Brazzer's going to hit this. Everybody is rooting for this to happen except for Matt. So I think
Nancy.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. We all want T-Boz to get the t-shirt. I think Matt even kind of wants it too.
Secretly.
Yeah, secretly. So we'll see what happens. By the way, you can get some merch using the code Sorry John for 20% off right during this very program. Post game lives, you get the 20% off with the code Sorry John. Use that QR code; it'll take you right to the store. You can buy some shit. And this model looks a lot like Mason Lowry with a receding hairline. So
just partially.
We got that guy helping us out a little bit. And you can get on there, buy some merch, help us out, help out the show. We would love it.
And speaking of Mason Lowry, AC Knight from Facebook dropped in here. What do you think of Lowry's development so far this year?
I think offensively, he's certainly had his moments where he's been pretty good. Defensively, he still has a ways to go. I was listening in the car on my drive home, and the Bruins had the power play, and Dowd shorthanded just walked right around him, and Bob Beers on the color commentary on the radio was like, he's got to be stronger there. I mean, I know it's a power play and whatever, but you can't just let him walk around you and get a couple whacks at the net shorthanded when you're down by 1. You just can't. So he's got some development still to come defensively. He needs to be stronger, and I think that will come by just being in the NHL and gaining some experience, taking better angles, lifting the weights, all that stuff. So I still think his future is pretty bright. He makes pretty good decisions. A lot of the time he needs to be firmer on the puck too, though. A lot of his passes are a little soft, and he needs to like, it's the NHL. You can pass the puck hard to somebody and they'll catch it. Like,
unless you're on the Bruins.
Yeah, unless you're on the Bruins, then you pass it into their skates hard and maybe it breaks the skate blade. But on other teams, when you pass the puck hard, tape to tape, other players can catch it and they skate fast with it. So he needs to improve on some things. But offensively, I mean, you can see he's got, vision. He's got, a lot of times he can get shots through. He has, he can move on the blue line pretty well. for his size, especially. So he's got some offensive upside that's certainly there. And I think, getting more power play time will certainly help him. But defensively, he still has a ways to go, I would say.
Fair enough. Now, we did have Maddie jump in here. He's on the YouTube comments. He says, the Bruins are one of the 3 teams to not have a goal with the goalie pulled this year. Them, Montreal, and Utah take the cake as the final 3. And then from Facebook. Oh, you want to comment on that one?
Well, I was just going to say, they've had opportunities, but they just, the lack of finish. Like in this afternoon's game, they had Zacha alone in the high slot, and he either fired it wide or the shot was blocked, or he fumbled it. Like they are offensively challenged, and that shows up in those moments.
Absolutely does. Stephen Bentley from Facebook. Any word when Hampus Lindholm will be back? I haven't heard anything new to update. As of right now, he's still out week to week. I would assume that it's going to be somewhere around the Four Nations face-off at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know if it'll be then. I don't even believe he started skating yet or anything. Yeah, it's going to be a while, I think. Hopefully it's by Four Nations. That would give him, a month and a half to gear up, kind of, if the Bruins are making a push for the playoffs. So hopefully he's back then, because the team certainly could use him. That's for sure.
That is for sure. T-Boz on YouTube. Second goal against. Swayman playing like an 825,000 AAV goaltender. He needs to be about 10 times better. Yes, we've been saying it all year long. Thank you. However, he did have a .923 save percentage today, so he wasn't necessarily the problem this afternoon.
Yeah, and he's been good of late, like 4-0-1 in his last 5 or something like that. Going into today with a 9-2 something, and a shutout. So, I didn't think that second goal really was his fault. Like Chychrun, that was a snipe. That was, maybe he was down too early and wasn't as tall in his crease as maybe he should have been. But Chychrun was able to walk in and pick a spot, on the power play. Like sometimes, you got to just tip your cap to the other team and say the guy made a great shot. Like I'm not sure many goalies save that unless they're, one of those gigantors that's in the nets now, that's 6'7" or something like that takes up the whole net, or a walrus or a seal or whatever from the Geico commercials. You might be able to save it.
Yeah, you never know. T-Boz follows that one up with Geeky has been by far the best player on the first line lately, for those who wonders why he is still there. And this has been something that we've talked about a lot. We've given the Bruins a lot of shit for it, but you saw it today. He's got an absolute rocket of a shot. You and I got to watch the third period together. Mm-hmm. And I pointed out he was sitting in Pasternak's typical slot on the second unit power play and just launching bombs.
Yeah, he does have a good shot. But he also has hands that are more like a fourth liner, because if he had first line hands when Marchand passed him the puck, and first line IQ, and Marchand passes them the puck there, to the side of the net, that's a tap in for if it's David Pastrnak or probably even Pavel Zacha. But Morgan Geekie heeled it to the backboards, and then they lost the game instead of tying it up. So, as well as he's done, he's not a first line player. He isn't. And, it would be good if he was on the third line with some other guys who could play. Then maybe you have some depth. But, the Bruins are a few guys short in the top 6. So guys have to play out of position. And that's not Morgan Geekie's fault. I'm not blaming him for playing there, because he's producing now. God love him. Good for him. But, that's not really where he should be slotted in this lineup. But because of Don Sweeney's, leaving the roster a little thin to start the year, you have guys playing above where they should be playing. The Justin Brazeaus and the Morgan Geekies shouldn't be up there. Charlie Coyle shouldn't even be up there. They probably need 3 for, top 6 guys. Maybe even 4 if you count, Hampus Lindholm as more of a third line guy. Like we said all year, they have a bunch of third and fourth line guys.
You mean Elias Lindholm as a third line guy? Okay.
Yeah, Jesus. I don't know how many times I'm going to do that, but I do it a lot.
It happens. Now, one thing that you did say that, ding, the light went off of the aneurysm that you had in the third period. Talking about David Pastrnak and getting the puck in around the net. In that third period, he had the puck. He brought it down the boards and looked like he was going to go for, wrap around behind the net, dish the puck off somebody else, maybe try to cram it in back door. But then a defenseman gets decked in front of the net by Justin Brazeau, lays out flat, and all of a sudden, David Pastrnak tries to cut directly into the crease, into the player on the ice, and loses the puck. And Smitty went wild.
I lost my mind. I mean, I don't know if, maybe it's a split-second thing there, but the guy is lying in your way. Where are you taking the puck to? You have nowhere to go with that puck. You can't bring it there. He's literally lying down on the ice in front of you. The puck can't just magically go through him. So what are you doing there? I don't get it. Like, that's like either pass it or shoot a bad angle shot. Do something to get it actually on the net rather than try to drag it through. I don't get it sometimes with him. I don't. But, that's what you get sometimes with him. He tries things that, you probably shouldn't try. And sometimes he's successful with it. And you go, wow, like, how did he get the puck through that guy? Oh, it slid under his ass somehow. But, most of the time it doesn't work out that way. I don't know. I've said it before. I don't think the hockey IQ on this team is particularly great. There was a play late in the third where Zadorov had a pretty good shot. I don't know if it was an odd man rush or just walking down the wall, and he got to the tops of the circles and he ripped one far side, and Trent Frederick was going to the net for a rebound. And, it was a good purposeful shot because it was far side hoping for a rebound, but Frederick is literally on top of the goalie. Like, the goalie 9 times out of 10, 49 times out of 50 is going to punch that or hit that on their pad past you. You have to be a little bit off the net there if you're rushing on the far side looking for a rebound. You can't be on top of the fucking guy because the puck will never find you. Like, the Bruins do that all the time. They go to the net and they get too deep and the puck goes past them out the other side. And it's like, what are we doing, fellas? Why? And it's a wonder you can't find pucks in front of the net because they get too close in tight and then it gets past them, and then the defense can take it and transition the other way. It's just like the IQ I feel like is not there. It's just
a lack of offensive awareness is kind of what it boils down to. T-Boz chums in again. I think Kastelik is having some of the Pastrnak-itis injury from playing his ass off in the first half of the season.
I mean, that's possible. He could be playing hurt because he does, and he has shown effort in every game, pretty much. I mean, he's still taking penalties sometimes, which are, aren't exactly the smartest thing sometimes. But the one today, I didn't think there was much there. But overall, he is playing his ass off. So, but he's a fourth line guy too. Like, you shouldn't expect him to, score goals like he did the other day, where he just comes down like the right wing circle and goes, forehand, backhand, shelf. And, like, you shouldn't be expecting that from guys like him, like that. So that's not something that's going to, occur all the time. It's going to be greasier goals and things like that, which, he's been pretty good at overall. And the way he's played, I think, has really impacted the fourth line and the way they play overall. They're hard on pucks. They forecheck hard. They are quick. They cause turnovers and they get pucks to the net. Like, you can't ask for much more than that, especially if while they're out there, they're not getting scored on. Like, that's really all the fourth line is out there for. Create energy and don't get scored on. And if they chip in offensively, then it's a bonus. So he's been doing all the right things, but the puck's just not going in for him right now. And it probably won't. I mean, we talked about that early on. Like, you can't expect that type of production from the fourth line to carry on, throughout the season. It's just fool's gold kind of a thing.
Yeah, and, that kind of alludes to Mike Professional here on YouTube. One funky bounce away from the Bruins being shut out. Again, the offensive struggles continue for the Bruins. Justin Brazeau is tied for the lead in power play goals on the team.
Yeah, with 4.
If that doesn't want to make you drink bleach, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I'll drink some beer instead.
Halfway there. Maybe if he is the leader on the team at the end of the season, we could revisit that. Maybe not. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that at home.
Yeah, don't drink bleach. That's a bad idea.
Overall, not a horrible Bees loss, considering just a couple shot choices by shit players. Just a couple shit choices by shit playing players at the time. That's what I'm going to believe. Shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's what he meant.
That's probably what he meant.
It wasn't a horrible loss. Look, Capitals are a good team. Spencer Carberry's had them playing well. They're towards the top of the Metro. They're one of the better teams in the league. They're top 3 to 5 in scoring, I think, and top 5 in defense, or top 6 in defense. So they're right there with, offensively and defensively. They play really well, and they play hard for them. They have some offensive talent, and the Bruins played them pretty tough. It was a fairly even game both ways. I don't think there was actually a lot of chances really either way. The Caps capitalized and the Bruins, couldn't. I think the glaring chance really is the Geeky one to me, because I think that was an open net that would have tied the game. But other than that, like, I can't remember really either goalie making a spectacular save. The save of the game on TV was off a tip from Brazeau, and I'm not even 100% sure he made the save on that. Maybe he got a toe on it, but it looked like it might have been going wide anyway. So there wasn't a lot to me in this game either way. Like a power play chance where, obviously the Bruins need to be better penalty killing. And then, Carlo fumbles it, and it ends up in your net. So, it's one of those things where, and the Caps had a bad bounce on the Bruins goal. So probably, like, in actuality, it probably should have been like 1-0 Capitals.
Yep.
So, there just wasn't a whole lot to this game. Either way, it was kind of a defensive struggle, with two teams that, since Sacco took over, the Bruins have been pretty good defensively, and the Caps have been pretty good defensively all year.
And one topic here in the comments, I could not avoid it at all. This is something we've talked about all year, and I actually looked up some of the stats before we came on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Please, for the love of God, somebody take Chris Kelly and throw him as far away from the TD Garden as you can. He has 161 power play points as a player.
That's honestly.
Brad Marchand has 161 power play assists in his career.
I mean, look, that's more than I thought. Way more than I thought he had. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was under 100. I thought he was way, way less than 160, whatever. But he shouldn't be in charge of the power play. He shouldn't. He's not an offensive player. Never was. It should be somebody that has some offensive skill and creativity and knows the weak spots to score goals in power plays. And I don't think he's that guy. So I think the Bruins should have made a change there. I think they should have made it a while ago, but I thought they should have changed a lot of things a while ago, and they still running it back. So here we are. But yeah, go ahead.
The Rat 63 chimes in with two back-to-back comments here. One, Beecher is horrible, and he should be chucked down to the AHL. I don't necessarily disagree, but he is good in the face-off dot, and you do need somebody to win face-offs eventually, and that's something that the Bruins have struggled with. The second of the comments, that he wants to see Poitras back up on the Boston Bruins roster. Your thoughts on those two?
I would agree with Beecher. I don't think he offers a whole lot. I really don't. And the face-off thing, I guess. But when he's playing on a line with Kastelik, he's not even taking face-offs. So it's a waste. And he's not a good winger. He can't catch passes. Plays die on his stick. I mean, he struggles to get pucks in deep. It's like simple things that he can't do, it seems like. So I have no problem with him taking a seat and giving someone else a chance. Should it be Patra? I mean, I'm all for him gaining experience and confidence in Providence. I know Bruins could use him. I know that. But I think for his long-term development, it's better off right now if he stays down there and continues to play well and dominate. And then we've mentioned it before. I think like after Four Nations, like in February when there's like a month and a half left, I think that's a good time for him to come back up. You at that point have given the Oliver Wahlstroms and the Mark McLaughlin's and all those people a chance to play, and they'll probably all fail. And then you can have Patra come in and stick and hopefully stay in the lineup and help one of these lines produce a little bit more.
Fair enough. Jonesy chiming in. The Bruins finish like amateur porn actors. Porn mediocres. You can't even call them porn stars.
I love that. That is a fantastic comment. Jones may have won the internet today.
Now, Matthew Curtis starting to think that Swayman getting back into form, you can't expect them to win every night 1-0 or 2-0. That's not a recipe for a great season or a playoff run. Is Swayman getting the monkey off of his back and us and the fans off of his ass, or not?
He's on his way. But look, he's like the team. You know, if they play well for a little stretch and then have a clunker again, it all comes back. It all comes back. Like, you know, you can't have a really good stretch and then give up 7. And then it's like, oh, well, here we go again. You know, has he really figured it out? You know, it's like the team. It's like they play well and you're like, okay, here we go. Maybe they're turning a corner. And then they play a really good team and they lose 8-2. And you're like, well, I guess they didn't turn the corner, did they? Nope. Or they play Columbus and lose 6-2 when you're like, well, they had a few days off. There was no excuse for them to start the way they started, and they get their doors blown off by a shitty team. And so you wonder about shit like that. Has he turned the corner? It looks like it. 4-1-1 now, I guess, in his last 6, and his save percentage is in the 920s. That seems like he's turning a corner. He's got to do that consistently now. That's what we expect from him. Not necessarily a 930 save percentage, but 9, 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever. And he's got to consistently be that good. I mean, that's what they paid the guy for. So, that's what Bruins fans expect. I think that's what the team expects. I certainly expect that. If you're going to get 8.25, you got to play like it. If you're going to say, I'm the number one guy, I want to set the goalie market, I'm the master of the main school of business, you got to play like it, or you're going to get the criticism that comes along with it if you don't. Simple as that. So, yeah, he looks like he's turned a corner until he hasn't. Until he hasn't. And then, we'll be back on him again.
Now, I will clean something up here for the confusion in the chat. I did bamboozle this. I'm doing the 2 roles today, filling in for Maddie and doing some of my own work. Chris Kelly did not have 168 power play points. He had 168 career points.
Oh, okay.
He had 7 power play points.
Oh, thank you. Okay. That makes way more sense.
However, I did get bamboozled by something on Google.
Oh, no.
That gave me false information. So I'll eat that one. But I did, once I saw the comment, I pulled up the NHL directory of stats from history, and he has a whopping 7 power play points.
So there you go. The right guy in charge, as always.
As fucking always. Now, Pejman, thanks for pointing that out. We're going to jump to another one of his comments. 21 times in 38 games, they've scored 2 or fewer. So glad we spent $5 million on Zadorov and $8 million on a first line center who can't score. Fucking brutal. Sorry, John. Do something, Sweeney, like fire yourself with a nice smiley face.
With a smiley.
He's polite.
You know what? I'm a big fan of Pajman in his comments because he usually brings stats, and then he will go on to light some people up at the end of his comments, which I love as well. So keep commenting, Pajman. Huge fan. Love what you do. Love what you bring to the table. And he's not wrong with any of that. It is. They shouldn't have spent the money on Zadorov or Lindholm, Elias, and yes, it's fucking brutal. And you know, I don't think Sweeney should be around either. So I agree with you on all counts.
Now we'll probably wrap up this show with this last comment here, but this is one that obviously pissed off Mr. Rob Spector, and we've already talked about this, and this pissed us off too. So in the theme of people firing themselves, whoever makes the schedule for special events, you should fire yourself too. Why the fuck did they take the Winter Classic away from New Year's Day?
That's a wonderful point. I don't have any idea why they did it. Why is the Winter Classic in the middle of a schedule of games of like fucking 12 games today? Why'd they do that? It's at 5:00.
When people want to go out and get smashed.
Yeah, when people are like having dinner, like what the fuck are they doing? Like, I just don't understand the NHL at all and their way they handle TV and the marketing teams and all that. I just don't get it. They took it off on New Year's Day. Then it was like January 2. Then it was like, we're going to do it in the afternoon, but no, we're going to do it at night because, you know, it's too sunny during the day. Like, figure it out and just have the one game. The one. Like, I love the frenzy. I love the frozen frenzy. But again, why is that on a Tuesday night? Maybe do it on a Saturday when fucking more people could watch. Maybe don't have them all the games start at like 7:05, 7:15. Maybe start at, 12:00, 12:30, 1:00, and do it on a Saturday when somebody could sit there all fucking day and watch hockey like it should be. But no. And then take it into fucking hockey night in Canada at 8 and have that be the marquee game. But no, we can't fucking figure it out. They have morons working there. That's what the problem is the people in charge of setting up the events and picking the times and the way they do the schedule are idiots. They don't have any sense for the rivalries or back-to-backs or putting marquee events in its own time when it'll get the most eyes. None of that. They don't market the players like the NBA does. It's like Jordan and the Bulls. It's not McDavid and the Oilers. Why not? It should be. Or Marchand and the Bruins or Pastrnak and the Bruins. It's not like that. Like the NHL does a terrible job of marketing their players. It's the best game on earth. It's the fastest. It's there's fights. There's, you get everything in hockey. It's amazing. And they do not showcase it at all. You get more from TNT in a 5-minute segment from Biz and Marchand, like chirping each other, is the most personality you'll see probably all year long. and it's a 5-minute throwaway segment on a pregame show on TNT, for a Bruins game that's on Thursday night. And like, why, their commercials, I guess the last couple have been, a little better with the young guys and some of that stuff. But in general, they do a terrible job with it all. I just don't get it. It's terrible.
And where the NHL lacks in all that personality and flair, the Bruins Benders podcast never misses.
There you go.
And with that, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been a wonderful 2024. Maddie, we know you're out there. We love you. Have a safe and happy New Year's, everyone. And of course, go Bruins, and we will see you next time.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.